Hello, my name is Sarah Kayatsura, and today I am going to be showing you how to draw a Lewis structure for a single center molecule. First things first, we have to ask ourselves, what is a Lewis structure? A Lewis structure is a visual representation of valence electrons and formal charge in a molecule. They show us how electrons are arranged around atoms in a molecule. The first step in drawing a Lewis structure is to determine the number of valence electrons. The valence electrons will be depicted as dots in the diagram. To understand this, I will use H2O, also known as water, as an example. Hydrogen has one valence electron. However, since we have two hydrogen atoms, we're going to have to multiply this by 2. Oxygen has 6 valence electrons. When we add these all together, that gives us a total of 8 valence electrons for the H2O molecule. Our next step is to draw the skeletal structure using only single bonds. It's important to remember to put the least electronegative atom in the center of the skeletal structure. In the case of H2O, oxygen is the least electronegative and therefore will be in the center of our Lewis structure. Step 3 is to draw the lone pair electrons. Since oxygen has 6 valence electrons, we'll only draw 2 lone pairs around it since there is a valence electron represented by each of the single bonds. Likewise, since the hydrogens only have 1 valence electron each, those are also depicted by their single bonds to oxygen. Step 4 is to turn lone pairs into double or triple bonds to help all atoms achieve a full octet if they don't already. In the case of H2O, we don't have to do this since all the atoms here have already filled their valence shell. Step 5 is to determine formal charge. This can be done by plugging in the proper values into this formula. We take the number of valence electrons of the central atom and subtract the sum of the number of electrons that exist in lone pairs and the number of bonds present in the Lewis structure. In our case, we have 6 valence electrons from oxygen, 4 valence electrons in lone pairs, and 2 single bonds. Since H2O is a neutral atom, meaning it has 0 as its formal charge, we don't need to indicate this in our final structure. And there you have it, a simple guide to drawing Lewis structures for a single center molecule.